Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my farming life.
Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my farming life. I hope you're doing very, very well. I am in the combine again. We're heading back up to South Healy. We've got all of the stuff done down here that's fit. It's a busy day today, there's a lot happening, so I'm taking this up on my own. Header trailer behind me, so we'll see how we get on. Bungle is over there, he's looking at his mower, I think. He is, as you can see, knocking down the headlands of second cut. He's done all the ground down here, knocked the headlands off at least, apart from the small paddock behind the house. And the idea being that that's all going to be baled up and wrapped up tomorrow, and then the rest of the ground will be knocked down for hay, because we're doing pretty well for silage at the moment, so we don't want to make too much and not have enough hay there. So that's the plan, and we will see how we get on there, and then he'll head up to South Healy at some point as well and do the same up there. Now I'm not sure if we're going to get a start with the oats. We will see. We might it's a good day tomorrow, so we're not in a huge rush. We might just be able to get it all done tomorrow, because there's going to be a little bit of moving around. Oh, he does it. So yeah, we might just take everything over and leave a bee parked up. We'll have a look-see though. And a lot happening today. Today's the day I really want to just discuss expansions. And we're going to look into what that looks like for us as a farm and as a business over the last few months, and also, well, last year really, and also what the future expansions look like. I know it's something we touched on a bit in the last episode, but really going to dive into that and put some numbers behind it really, to see what that really looks like for us and our projections moving forward. So it's a busy time of the year at the moment. There's a lot happening right now. Obviously trying to get some hay made. The weather's starting to look finally good for the next like 4 or 5 days. Dry, a bit of wind, so that should be good. And then that'll mean that we can get ahead. We've only got oats ready right now. The beans are coming, but they're not quite there, I'd say. So we'll just see how they look, but wheat's a little bit off as well, so we'll have to wait for that. But we'll get the oats done for sure up here, and then we'll probably leave the combine up here and just wait and see what's fit, and then we'll take it from there, and then we can concentrate on getting silage and hay made. So it's going to be quite exciting. Now this is going to be the fun part. This village is never easy, especially coming through here with a combine as well. Ideally we're going to go up to the left, and then we're going to cut back through the farm track, 'cause it's just a bit wider to get through, and that's where one of the first fields of oats lay. It's getting late in the day now. We are currently... Ooh, out the way, lady. Good lord. Getting on there. Oh, there's a car coming, so maybe not. Really? My word. I mean, it's not like I couldn't be seen. I'm fairly large here, and I'm yellow, and I've got flashing lights everywhere. What are we doing? Good lord. I don't know how we made that through there. I really don't. Some people, just incredible. Gates open, great, and here we go. Thank God for this track here though, that's all I'll say. Alright, well. So yeah, the first field that we'll go into is actually just going to be around the corner here. So what we could well do, it's only a very, very small one as well, so I don't even know if we'll get 7 and a bit tons that this grain tank holds off this, but we will see. I often think about just sticking this into an Arable, into a grass pasture with everything else on here. But we do need, and quite often we will have wheat or barley in here, so we get straw off it. But that's certainly the first field there. And I wonder, let's see if we can get in here. Give it a go. No, what we'll do instead, we'll just spin out a bit here, take a little bit of this grass down. So we'll get ourselves into here at least anyway, and then we will have a bit of a discussion starting up at South Healy about what expansion looks like for us. And well, that is where we will leave it for now. All set up, ready to go for the morning. So let's have a bit of a walk up here, I suppose. I'm going to take our Land Rovers up here, we're going to take that back down. On the way, we're going to have a look at something else exciting that's happening over at Manor Farm as well. But first of all, a couple of things to check in with up at South Healy. So this ground here, the grass isn't as long, it's quite thick here though, so we'll get this cut down. We will be coming up here to get that field over there done as well. and then trailers up here as well. I'll have to move that down in the morning. But we want to check in on a few things really here and have a bit of a discussion. First of all, you'll see that there is the Abbey feeder wagon here. This is actually a second one. We discussed in the last episode, I think, about possibility of acquiring a second one just to make things easier. And we've done it. We picked this one up. We liked the other one so much, it just made sense. We were familiar with it. It is a tub mixer that we like. And it works perfectly well for us. So why change that? We were able to get a hold of one, so we did. So that is really good. And over the corner here, just behind the map, bro, we have our new Collinson's bin, the second one for us here. This has about 5 ton of cake inside of it. And yeah, again, similar thing, we get on well with the Collinson bin. It's worked out very nicely for us down at Moor Farm. So it made sense to get another one, and again to reduce down the cost of those because that is excessive. So buying in bulk works out well for us, and that's exactly what we've decided to go ahead and do here. And the reason we're doing that is because we have a larger uptake of cattle around here. Our beef finishing is really starting to take a step up, and we need to be able to factor that into our growth. There is something inside that shed there. We're not going to look at it today, but we will look at it another day there, and it's another new bit of equipment that I'm quite excited about, so we'll have a look into that one. But as it is right now, we are currently at just under 350 head of cattle, around about 344 I think is the last count. And that does rotate through. We do have young stock in here all the way through to just under 2 years, and we will be cycling through there, and those older stock, some of them will be kept on the farm for breeding, some of them will be sent off to production, so to the abattoirs, and turned into cuts of beef. And then we'll be looking to continue to bring in younger stock, fatten them up, finish them off, and really take them into the production chain as well. And that will continue throughout. Now, like I say, right now we're at 340-ish head of cattle. We can probably stretch it up to close to 400, but we do start to hit our limit in terms of space. We have a few different areas that we farm right now. We've got this cattle shed here. There's the satellite farm over yonder, and then we have the 2 sheds down at Moor Farm as well. But the issue that we might have is that ideally I would want to see, and it's aligned with my dad, my uncle, and my cousin, that we would see an additional storage or cattle sheds up here. Problem that we land up with that one here is that this is a long-term tenancy farm, which means that we can't really do too much. Because it's not our farm really. This is a multi-generational lease, so we're going to be here for a while, and we have been here for a while, but it does restrict what we can do. We have to get approvals, we have to, you know, run it by certain people, so it's likely that any other upgrades would come to our own farm down at Moor Farm that we own. So that is something that we're looking into to see if there's any more space. We've already put one shed up down there. I'd like not to have to put another one up there just yet, but you never know. It's these things could happen. So we'll have to see, and also the cost of it. We still got to pay off that first shed, but that's where we'd like to get to, where we can have a nicer, bigger shed. We are getting a dribble bar for this coming very shortly. We did get a grant into that one, so that will allow us to be a little bit more in line with new environmental schemes coming up. So that should be good. And yeah, let's go and take a drive. So cattle have increased. Numbers have gone up probably about 44 to... No, I would say more than that. About 100 since we really started to invest into our beef herd. So the numbers are really expanding there, and it's allowing us to really think about what that looks like. It does increase the workload on us, of course, which is why we've got that extra mixer wagon in there. And next year we might well look into a secondary straw chopper to have it up here as well, along with the one that we have down at Bellham. So a lot of things to factor in. The beef price has been phenomenal recently, which is really always a good help. That does significantly boost things and add to your models and your accounting when you're getting such a good roaring trade. But you've also got to factor in that won't stay forever. So it's one of those balances really. You've just got to make sure it all works out for you. From an Arable standpoint, so far so good, I would say. There's a long way left to go. We're not even into the corner of the oats yet, and then we've got a lot of wheat to run into, and then soybeans. So we'll have to wait and see. And then we have a little bit of sugar beet to factor into our rotation now as well. Like I say, we really want to focus on having everything growing in-house there. So that's what we're trying to achieve. We are going to go back up here actually. we have invested an awful lot over the last 6 months into the arable side of things. New tractors, new drills come into the equation there, new fertilizer spin as well, all with the aid of making things a little bit more efficient, allowing us to really use our time more thoroughly, cover more acreage, because our acreage is always expanding at the moment. We are taking over the tenancy of land from my other uncle, so we're going to be taking that one on gradually. We've taken on 2 fields there, and we're about to take on another 3, which is really rather exciting. We're going to go and have a look at those now, actually. Away we go. Because yeah, that is adding an awful lot to our practice, and we need to factor that in terms of what our workflow looks like, our investment in terms of man hours as well as the machinery costs to get everything done. That's going to really, right now, for example, the next couple of weeks will be very, very busy because we have a lot of work to do on those fields along with everything else. So it's going to be a good busy time for us. But once we get this all set up and working properly, then we should be able to really reap the rewards. It's also crucial that we identify and work this crop rotation properly, because we're going to find that straw is going to become a very much more important part of our planning. To buy straw now is very expensive, so if you don't have enough, you can be in a real bit of a bind, which we obviously want to avoid. So we'll have to try and see what we can do for that, and see how we can budget for that accordingly, because we're going to need a lot. Daily bedding up there really across 4 different sheds will start to add up pretty quickly. Okay, so around the corner we go. This is the back way into the village of Ellum, and what we're actually going to do is just take a jump down here. So about a year ago, we took over the land on the other side of the woods there. It's around about 70 acres, all in, just under, actually about 65. And that is now in spring barley. We should hopefully get a really good crop of that one over the course of late summer. So we're looking forward to seeing how that one works. We have a lot of investment in that with cover crops, with organic matter in there as well from composted manure. So we're going to see how that one works out. And the plan was always, part of the reason why we invested into the new combine, was to have a lot more capacity, because we knew at some stage or another we were going to be taking over more ground here. As you can see, these fields have been harvested and they are now ready for us. The tenancy has ended for the previous farmer, who is not long off cleared these actually, and you can see that his combine is still down here. So we're taking on a little bit over 80 acres now down here, so that's going to be another 80 on 65 there, so it's about 145 acres we've got, which is going to be a lot of work. This will be going into, this is really where the large amount of work kicks off for us, because look at that combine there, let's have a look at it. A lot larger than anything we've got, that's for sure, but that is I want to say Trion by these things. Absolutely huge. All of these 3 fields, all of which are very large in themselves, they'll need, we're going to be doing some soil sampling, but they'll be having a lot of the muck and the composted or the separated slurry from more farm is going to come down here. So we'll be putting that on. We will be putting it into a cover crop as well, because it won't be going in until the spring. So we'll put the cover crop onto here so we can actually get some nitrogen fixation through that as well. And that'll hopefully work wonders with some compaction too. And that'll kind of be like a field reset rather than going in with a plow and turning all over that way. This is a bit of a beast. It'd be nice to have something like this, would it not? Pipe dreams right there. That's what that is. Absolute pipe dreams. So yeah, that's going to add a lot of work, because we're going to need to spread slurry, or spread manure on here. We'll have to hire in another spreader to go with ours, surely just to get the quantity covered off. So we'll have to spread muck on here, spread slurry if we need to on here as well, just to go that extra bit. And then drill cover crop into here as well, whilst all the time still thinking about the hay that we've got to make, the second cut silage we've got to make there, and continuing with harvest. So we're going to get stretched, that's for sure, but it should work out very well for us. This is good ground down here. It should work out very well for us. I'm really impressed with how the spring barley's come along over there. Really taking a good starting point. So again, when we talk about that expansion piece, that's why we invested heavily into machinery recently as well, because we knew this was coming gradually, so we could spread the cost across a lot more acres. The combine's been paid off for as well, but things like the 2 tractors are now on finance as well, so we need to consider that. And when you can spread the cost of your repayments across more acres, that really does make it a little bit more palatable. So we'll have to see. Now, I think there will be opportunities for more investment as well. We'll have to see how we get on this year. But yeah, ultimately, I think this is looking really good. It's just starting to maybe go a little bit yellow in places, but we've got a long way to go. Good crop. Pleased with it so far. It's had a lot of work. And hopefully that will continue. But we'll have to wait and see that. But yeah, it's just about making a lot of the right investments to match the work that we're doing. And really some of the stable investments you can make, or you should be making, so going to be around land, and then also supporting that investment with machinery. The cattle is a kind of a different arm of the business here, but that is starting to really take care of itself as well. We do a lot of the work in-house. One thing we don't do at the moment is spraying. We will be looking to try and change that soon. In fact, let's have a quick peek through here. Because what I'd like to do is be able to bring in or get my spraying certificate, so we can do the spraying ourselves and look to find a sprayer somewhere. And then a few other bits of equipment just to help speed the job up, which really would be great. But I think for this year we'll see how we get on. A lot more land to cover there, like I say, but it will be worth it. I have every confidence. I'm hoping that we can get into this ground fairly soon. We will be using the sheds over there to store the spring barley in, because we're not going to be selling it straight off. Providing that we get all the right results from our laboratory testing, it will be going away to make a lager somewhere, so we'll have to make sure that we can store it until they're ready to take it. There is a good grain handling system in the shed, which will work handily, but we just need to... Not sure if the other farmers got anything in there yet or not, but we won't be using it till the spring barley anyway. All of our wheat's been pre-sold, so we can take that away anyway. And yeah, that should be us. So yeah, this year's been busy. We've expanded across all fronts. A lot of acreage, a lot of animals, and a lot of shiny metal as well. And there's more to come with it. So we will be, over the course of the next couple of episodes there, we'll be getting caught up with all the harvest, with all the haymaking, and hopefully clearing out the second cut as well, and then into this ground will come, so it's going to be really, really fun. So I hope you do enjoy and come along for the ride there, and we will see how we get going. So really, that was just a bit of an update about what we're doing with our farm and how we're expanding it. So I hope you have found this useful and informative. If you have any questions or comments or feedback, please leave them down below, and we'll see you all in the next one. Until then, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to go back and just make sure everything's fed up and looking good over at Moor Farm before we call it a night to get going early tomorrow. So until then, thank you very much for watching as always. Do stay safe, enjoy what you're doing, and we'll see you next time.